So good morning all. Once again, I welcome you all the participants for the day 3 session 2 on artificial intelligence using virtual reality. The session by Dr. S. Soundararajan sir. I take immense pleasure to welcome Dr. S. Soundararajan sir, who readily accepted our invitation in his busy schedule. I welcome you, sir, on behalf of SNS College of Technology, Department of Information Technology. Welcome you, sir. I request Mr. Anand sir to give an intro about chief guest.
Thank you, ma'am. A very good morning to all present here. It's my immense pleasure to welcome Dr. S. Soundararajan, Associate Professor in School of Computing Science and Engineering, SCSC, at VIT Bhopal University. He has received his PhD degree from Anna University in ICE. He is Division Head of Artificial Intelligence Division of University and also working as Program Chair of BTech CSE Specialization in Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning. He has more than 16 years of teaching experience and holding academic projects. And by applying his innovative ideas, he was sanctioned an amount of 38 lakh rupees from esteemed funding agencies like DST, AACT, and ICMR. He has research experience of more than 5 years and has published more than 16 international and national journal conferences. He has also published 33 international journals, including 26 scopus and 3 essays. And he has guided he has also been awarded certifications from MNC companies like IBM and Dell and EMC Corporation. He has guided many students across India by delivering 30 guest lectures in reputed universities and institutes around India. His expertise and research areas are in artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data, and cloud computing. I would like to welcome you on behalf of SNS College of Technology and IT Department, sir. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Anand.
Thank you, Anand. So now I welcome our chief guest to take over the session. Welcome you, sir.
Thank you. So good morning, one and all present here. So myself, Dr. Soundararajan, a division head, Artificial Intelligence, VIT University, Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. This particular opportunity is given by audible, ma'am? May I audible?
Yes, sir. Now it's audible, sir.
Okay. So Anand Kumar, sir. So today I'm going to deliver about the future of artificial intelligence and virtual reality. So now all of AICT institutions are started BTech Artificial Intelligence and Machine Learning and BTech Artificial Intelligence and Data Science courses, as well as for cybersecurity, blockchain technology, DevOps. So these all are in irrespective of the branches of computer science, also in electronics and communication engineering, also specialization in artificial intelligence, and mechanical engineering, also specialization in artificial intelligence, and automation regarding big data courses. So now they are given a green signal to start with particular of thrust areas of future. Now all the institutions are started for the future ready engineers bring out for the future years. So that is why artificial intelligence now everybody is talking about. So we all know that. So this is not a new concept. 1950s, the history I'm not going to focus. So I'm saying that. So World War, now it is requirement. It is more on everybody is talking about AI. So the future and how the AI will evolving for all the sectors in agriculture or finance or education. So how we are going to evolve in this world belonging these particular technologies. That is what most important. So in early 2000, they're talking about programming languages, Java, and so in 2012 and 10, they're talking about the technologies, cloud computing, and then big data technologies. Now everybody is talking about cybersecurity and artificial intelligence, and also talking about blockchain technologies. So why this transforms happen? So why it is 1950? Wait a minute. 1950s. So technologies now is driving for everything is in future. So that is what actually we need to discuss here. And we all know that we are having the smartphones. We are having the knowledge in the packet. All information are available in the smartphones. So we have installed a lot of apps in the smartphone. All the apps syncing together, all the apps interacting with an operating system and Android. So all are interfacing together and then getting for interest of the people. So interest is most important for that. All the applications are actually listening to you, what kind of person you are, and what kind of activities you are doing in the cell phone. If you are in Facebook, already account is on only. So in the Twitter or Instagram, whatever the applications we are using nowadays in the cell phone. So now the applications also in nowadays in different. So previous we have to use some Google Maps to go for one place to other place, and then we can understand that which one is the best route we can go there and optimized way, and then conversational text oriented platforms we can use previously in the messaging platform and all the WhatsApp, and we can use IMOs also. And then we can coming to the speech transform nowadays. So speech and text also most important place today's world. So interpretation of data, how we are speaking that a lot of text content is will be delivering out. So how can I understand the text and then converting into the intent of the text, and then we are finding out the useful patterns. So this is what actually nowadays the conversational, it is completely text and speech is converting total data interpretation world. So now all of you know that. So how the human able to understand the concept, now the machines able to understand. So how it is possible through learnings. So what are the kind of learnings we are providing to machines to understand the knowledge? Each and every machines we are the evolving of the era. So the previously we can understand the products 1.0, 2.0 and 3.0. So this is the most important we have to understand about the products. In our old generation, they are using then ambassador cars and cycle. This is the most vehicle, electromechanical vehicles. They are used there that days, and no TVs are available, and then no equipped and electronics available. Then only the electrical and electronics parts which were available in the our previous generation. It is not. It is like it is not like of no intelligence part. It is there in mechanical parts. It will be there in the products 1.0. The physical products and reliable products only. So now we are moving into that product 2.0 kind of thing. So it's a crowd source and crowd intelligence. So we are in Netflix, we are in working, we can see a lot of videos in YouTube and Facebook. This all are crowd intelligence. So all people are together, we are having the login, and then we are using for their applications, and then we are posting text and we are our pictures to that platforms. So lot many peoples in that together, they are forming the network, and then how they are reacting, then what text they are for transforming one person to other person. So based on that, the intelligence will happen. The LinkedIn, the network and professionals, we are all having the LinkedIn network. So based on that, the recommendation engine and based on the recommendation engine, we can know the friends of other particular professionals. If you are in that education list, so who are the people are in education list in nearby area, and what your interest, based on the interest they are suggesting for that this all the persons if you want to connect. So recommendation expert system will work for this particular domains. So expert system also having some limitations. So then we are now moving on to that product 3.0 world. So product 3.0 world is nothing but all billion of
Sir,
entities.
excuse me.
Yes.
Sir, slides மூவ் ஆகலைங்க சார் உங்களுக்கு.
Sir, okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Now it's moving, sir.
No, sir, no.
Actually, I put it in the. So it is moving, sir.
இல்ல சார், மூவ் ஆகல சார். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஸ்லைட்ல நிக்குது சார். ஓகே சார்.
Now it is okay, sir.
ஸ்லைட் ஷோ போட்டுக்கங்க சார்.
Slide show it's not working, sir. Sorry.
ஓகே சார், நோ இஷ்யூ சார். செகண்ட் ஸ்லைடு வந்திருக்கு சார். ஓகே.
Okay, sir.
ஓகே சார், தேங்க் யூ.
Thank you, sir. Right, I'm talking about product 3.0. All billions of products are connected together, and forming as one particular entity. That is what actually now everybody is looking for the future. So if you want to connect smart cities, so you can complete city is connected, all devices are connected as a single entity. It is a smart city. If you go for an education or if you go for an agriculture, so if you take all lands of India, you can different soil conditions and crops. So we can connect each and everything. We are not going to take a sample portion of the particular portion nearby with us, the acres of the land available. Not only for that particular land, we have to check complete India, all the particular agriculture land, what they are cultivating for this particular seeds. So this all are connecting with a single entity. So you know that. So this is not, this is a billion of devices and sensors will be together and calculating the information. Sensors not only for the device. If you are humans also sensors, humans also sensing some humanary system, we can sense something, then we can generate the data. So only the devices only it is not going to sense that. So each and everything, so we need to understand very clearly what products we are now using and what kind of intelligence the product shows on us. So that is what most important to understand for artificial intelligence in future, right? So most of the thing we need to understand about artificial intelligence, the simulation of human intelligence in machines that are programmed to think like humans and mimic their actions. There's a lot of definitions available in the Google. So this is one kind of definition we can understand about the artificial intelligence is. So we are that particular thing. So what we have to understand the evaluation. So we are not going to make a robot. It is at a stretch. So what we have to understand, we have to work with early level products, and one by one we can learn something. Then we can go with the human intelligence. What human does, the machine also does the same thing. So we can make a products that all products are not actually having do all the intelligence of humans. So a lot of limitations will be there. We can design a product, the product will be doing some limitation. That particular work, if we have a vacuum cleaner, it is doing for that particular work only. That is also one intelligent agent, we can say. Each and everything we can take it and then we can say that is intelligent device. For example, in a refrigerator or a washing machine, all are now intelligent device. So automatically the machines will be on and off, and then automatically the machines will be controlled by other devices. So I'm asking about example. I'm saying 100 blocks in the particular one particular block, 100 houses are available. That 100 houses are having 100 refrigerators. So all the refrigerators are connected through particular app to on off to conditions, and then we can set up temperature for different refrigerator, and then we can use up. So this is what actually now the devices are connected together, and the devices are actually doesn't interacting with another devices. So what actually, if you are learning artificial intelligence, so first we can understand five spaces very clearly. First, we can understand about clearly problem solving. That is most important. Already we know that. So we have a problem, then many ways to solve the problem, but we have to find the optimal way. So in the traditional procedural approach, we can find a way, but in artificial intelligence approach, we have to apply some heuristics. So based on the heuristics, we can find out the best suitable way to find out to solve the problem. So we can create a strong knowledge base for AI. So based on the strong knowledge base, we can generate a expert rules, or otherwise we can generate some feedback mechanisms like ML oriented techniques. Then we can understand the system, and then we can deliver the best answers to the people. So this is what actually first we have to learn. First thing is very important to learn artificial intelligence. Problem solving is one particular domain, and knowledge representation is another one domain, and reasoning is another one domain, and decision making and perception, communication, and actuation. So these all five domains we need to understand clearly for an artificial intelligence student to understand this. So problem solving, then already we learned that how to solve the problem. It is if you are coming for the AI way, so we can understand about the searching problems. So how to search, then informed or uninformed searching, and heuristic oriented A star, AO star searching problems. We can understand what are the BFS and DFS already we studied in data structure algorithms, and backtracking what algorithm strategies we understand that. So divide and conquer, greedy, and dynamic approaches. That approaches will tell you to find out the optimal solution to pick the particular solution. We can solve the problem using greedy and dynamic. Which particular thing it is suitable one. So all the things will be system will be learning out for all the solutions, and then system will be giving you proper time for the proper solution. So machine learning, that problem solving, it is a most important thing you need to understand. Another one is knowledge representation. So the knowledge, whatever we gathering in the real world and pursues that some information from that persons or any other things existing in the world, then we can store in our brain. That is a knowledge building. So we can create a knowledge base, and then we can take a decision. We can given the decision with some reason why I am taking this decision for this. I can take all the knowledge I can store in all the facts in my mind, and then I can logically connect it all the fact of tables, and then I can say this is a reason I can take that particular decision. How we are going to take logics. So I have a data. What data I'm going to understand that logics. So first, X is a daughter of Y. So Y is a mother of Z. So what can I understand this particular thing? So this is a sentence. So what I understand, the AI system will find out some suitable logics to understand what is X and Y and Z. What is the relationship between them? And then we can create one family like structure. We can understand each and everybody who is the belongs to which position in the family. So I can ask the system. Then you are also having your all cousins and your friends, everything. You know the background of them. So I can ask some questions. Definitely, to tell that this is the person, this is the background of the person. I'll ask some questions also. You can easily answer. So how you can relate all the data and in your mind, and then you can find out the solutions. Then based on the solutions, you can proper reasoning. So reasoning it's a part of it's a separate portion of an artificial intelligence. So we need to understand propositional logic and the mathematical portions of logics we need to understand for first order, second order, model logics or fuzzy logic. This kind of logics, so it will be most important. So as a AI person, definitely know fuzzy logic and expert system kind of thing. So this thing, it is a third portion is a reasoning part, and the fourth one is decision making part. So first three portions, if you can take it, uh, problem solving and knowledge representation and reasoning, these are no data driven kind of representation. So this is what actually we are not involving much amount of data, and then we are going to solve the problem. Problem solving is a strategy. It is not required of data to solve the problem, to understand that making a decision. Knowledge representation, whatever the data we are having, based on that we can use some logics, and then we can produce some reasoning part. And decision making part, it is require a lot of data. Here only is a data driven approach it is coming. So decision making is nothing but we have a large amount of data. So we can generate the rules. Based on the rules, we are producing some kind of decisions. That is expert system. We can come into the part. So and then expert system have some limitations. So solve the limitations of expert system. We can go with some kind of learning approaches for the machine. The machine will be understanding what we are given the input. Y equal to f of x. We one write a function, mathematical function. The mathematical function getting the value of x. The mathematical function producing an output. And then if you want to go with a deep analysis of decision making, you can go for understanding of networks, complex ecosystem networks in deep learning part. So it is a layers and hidden layers and perception neurons to learn all the things, and then you can give a lot of weights and readaptation it happens for the weights, and then we can finally get for the proper solutions. So this is what actually the decision making part it will be on. So problem solving and knowledge representation and reasoning part, we are studying an artificial intelligence subject, and then we are entering to the machine learning. It is expert system and logics, and as well we can understand about the decision machine learning and deep learning in decision making part. And we can come for the perception and communication and actuation. Perception, it is nothing but we can perceiving something in the real world and build some kind of agent. That agent will react the real world. For example, if you are playing game, and then you can understand the environment of that place of that, what location, what environment, what we can do that the particular object where the object will move and accordingly. So based on that perception, it will be coming, and reinforcement learning, it will be coming to the part of perception. And communication, the agents will be talking together. It is required some natural language processing kind of thing. In the modern NLP, actually, it is a data-driven approach. So, for example, I can build one particular robot. It's talking about some particular language. So I can build all the accents and grammatical of that particular wordings, how the evolving complete the natural language. So I can feed into the databases. Then, based on that, the system will taking the part, and the system will talk according to the what knowledge the system gathering in that inside of neurons. So this also, it is a communication part, and activation part is nothing but it is a kind of robotics kind of thing. So whatever the machines will will do the human, like the human, what intelligence they're having, same intelligence we can give. So here having some limitations, we can use some missions for only automation or logistics, or if you are purchasing Alexa also for an Amazon. So that particular Alexa is having some limitation. You have to give some voice support. So the Alexa will moderately what actually programmed inside the Alexa. So based on that, the Alexa will communicate to other devices. The Alexa will do it. So this all total intelligence we can coming into that total 5 phases: problem solving and knowledge representation and reasoning and decision making and perception, communication and activation. So problem solving, you can see that we are no data is required. Some simple maze game you can do. It is simple backtracking problems, and we go then and return back and then find a way, then go back, return back, and finally finding the goal state. So this all are it's required set. And the other one is searching problems. So most probably we are coming to AI part. We can talk anything. The algorithm will search possible solutions. The algorithm traditional way, the algorithm it is a way of finding a one solution and given to you. And the algorithm where it is given possible solutions to you. So it is required some efficient search algorithms. It's using some concepts like breadth first search and depth first search and A star and AO star algorithms and constraint based certification algorithms. It will working for this particular problem based domains. And knowledge and reasoning part. In already you know that like Vampus problem, we know understand about little bit to understand about the students, to understand the basic problem solving, typically how the rules will be framing, then how the agent will be moving into the gold part. So this is one kind of problem. It requires some knowledge. We can generate some kind of rules. Through the rules, we can find out that how we are going to move forward. This is a node that is required. We have a knowledge representation and reasoning part using some kind of mathematical logics. So propositional and first order logic we can use for this. Decision making part, we can go for an expert system. So we can give a simple example of expert system. So the patient understand has rush and the patient and has and condition has vomiting and the has high fever. We can finally we can say the patient is having the dunk. So the patient having the dunk. So this kind of rules we can generate for the hospital management system. Each and every patient is coming the same symptoms. We can say easily diagnosis system will say this particular person is having dengue. So this you have to generate different rules. So whatever we observe that particular disease, and then we can make it an expert system. So any persons will come, you have to test this. The person will pass the test, the person is having dengue. Otherwise, the person is having different symptoms, but the person representing for the dengue fever. So the system will be updating in the rule. That is a limitation of an expert system. Rules may be too expansive. So every time we have to understand any new information is coming, we can rearrange our rules and then we can predict the particular proper system. It is required for the existing expert systems. And we can go for a machine learning part. So on simple function, y equal to f of x, and then a person is having Ebola or not. So we check the age of person and weight and height and blood pressure of the person. So we can take and then we can train machine will learn this thing. And so we know that and supervised, semi-supervised and reinforcements. A lot of learning algorithm will, so we can use some supervised learning to understand completely. We can predict on prediction system. Based on that, we have to test it. And then we have to have a feedback system. Through the feedback, the machine will be learning of what actually we previously what we generated, now what actually happened. That feedback, it is most looping concept, it is there in the machine learning. So this thing will work in that manner. So the machine will learn and the machine will accurately give this person is having or not. So that is why all of the researchers they are using for their own domain, then applying for the machine learning platforms. And then they are using some regression models that they are using for an SVM, and they are using supervised and unsupervised algorithms. Then they can prove that then this is the way we are predicting the disease is a accurate result. And if you are not getting the accurate result, one phase is there in AI, it is an optimization phase. Then you can apply for any genetic algorithm or PSO or any PSO or gray wolf or equalization algorithms and spam intelligence. So then we can finally find out this particular person is having or not. My algorithm is given you, so empirically given a best result for my particular problem. So this is what we are doing now in we are understanding of machine learning and deep learning environment. We are having huge amount of data we can apply into complex things, and we apply into the different inputs of the 8 of layers. Layers will learn and the layers will understanding that input output layers you can seen in the output layers. lot of, you can increase the hidden layers, then you can analyze very deeply of the data, and then finally we get an output. Right? So that is what actually it is required in machine learning kind of thing, and inference learning and reinforcement. So dynamic environment. So we can see the environment, we can understand the environment, and then store the environment state in the backend. And according to that, I can take an action. For example, in chess playing games, also an important example of a dynamic reinforcement. So we can move, and any player, you can move one particular coin, one particular place. Then we have to understand that. So what are the possibilities are there, and understanding of the environment, and then fully observable environment. So environments are, we know, we have to understand that what are the observable and fully or partially, then different kind of environments, then that particular agent will learn, and then agent will react. So we can make a pursuing a continuous perspective environment, and we are making some building some models in backend or utility. So based on that, the sequential decision making, it will happen. So sometimes we can see properly, not seeing in the environment. For example, if you are driving the car and then we are suddenly the road will be turning in the right. So we didn't predict that particular road. So that kind of environment is partially observable. So the environment is, you can do accordingly action. So if the road is left, then we can rotate our steering in the left way. So this is what actually we need to understand about the reinforcement link. This all are undercoming for the decision making perspective. And the complex ecosystem, so we can frame it. And then when you have large amount of high dimensional data, so normally we know that 1 dimensional, 2 dimensional, 3 dimensional. Now everybody is working on NumPy library. So through the library, we can represent more number of dimensions. We can visibly, easily, we can make a matrix, and we can work it out. So a lot of problems they are using in NumPy and Pandas to representing for this, right? And then when you have large amount of high dimensional data, and you want to learn very complex relationship between the output and input, use a specific class of complex machine learning methods and algorithms, collectively referred as a deep learning. So we need to understand about this. How do you understand? So if I'm asking a person, how do you know that what kind of knowledge you are having in data structures and algorithm? He's saying moderately. Nobody is saying I complete knowledge of data structure. I know this all concepts very well. Then if you ask anything, I will write a code immediately. So what I'm saying that, so how the understanding of the knowledge in the real world, and how can make a knowledge base as a better one, then how I can build a system like learning system, it is most important. So learning agent is most important. I want to predict any disease. I want to predict any transactions. I want to predict any electronic goods. So everything, I have to go any grocery shop. I want to predict which particular item is moving fast and done. So everything, it is requirement of that particular prediction models are, we can create a model. That model is based on that particular concept. So already you know that most of the faculties are here. I hope so. So already regression analysis models, we learned simple linear regression, multilinear, and multiple linear regression, and polynomial, exponential. So we know that in straight line and curved line and everything. So how it is happens, then we easily prediction. So any new data is coming, then we can easily, accurately we can predict the system. So is 95% is okay, 0.5% of alpha significance level. So how significant the data is relevant to this particular model, we can say hypothesis, or we can check it and then we can say it. So this is coming under for deep learning models. And communication perception, I'm talking about languages. It is, we need to learn NLP. And actuation, it is normally we can go with robotics. So we can mechanical devices, we can build and like a human or any device, like drones. So nowadays drone is a technology. It is like everybody is now is monitoring our surveillance of any particular thing, logistics, everywhere they are using the human, instead of human they can use. So in future, we may not move, it will come BTech specialization in drone technology, it will may be coming. So drone also in one kind of emerging thrust technology, we need to understand about it. And how the environment drone will see that reinforcement and also attached within robotics. Reinforcement, it will come gaming design, and reinforcement we can understand for the real-time environment, learn, and then we can react, and then sequence of perspective we are looking into the environment. And you can asking about vision and speech is most important. So computer vision and speech technology. and NLP and computer vision take a photographs, and then we can check it. Now the photographs are now, it is not as a digital, it is like digital like programs. So we can take a photograph. So the Google, if you're taking automatically the photographs is showing in the Google Photos, and then we can see that, we can easily say that which particular place the photographs actually taken, and then who are the people are inside it. And then if you are having a Facebook account or anything, so easily we can find out this person, who is this person and all having account. So these all are interpretations. So all interpretation is required. So this is all we need to understand about artificial intelligence, how this drives complete curriculum. So we need to understand that. So we have to study a curriculum of artificial intelligence. So basic foundations, it will come, it is covering of problem solving and knowledge reasoning, and as well as for knowledge and reasoning, and then go for the expert system, and then machine learning and deep learning and robotics, reinforcement learning, NLP and computer vision and speech technologies, and then NLP, natural language process. These all are compulsory components of artificial intelligence ecosystems. We need to understand, we have to react, and then we can adapt for the technology. So now we have to understand first thing, how the artificial intelligence is attaching with a data science world. So we need to understand this thing very clearly. So first part we have to say problem solving, knowledge representation, reasoning part. All are now data driven approach. So in decision making and perception, communication, activation, modern NLPs are actually, it is an data driven approach. And in data science process, we know that. So what actually we are going to do in data science? So we have to collect data and store and process the data. So collection, storing, process already we studied in data mining and warehousing part. And then how pre-processing of data, and how we are going to build a mart of the data, and because of the based on the application. And we can go for describing how we are going to representation of the data, what knowledge you are inferring, and then representation. That is required AI part. So we collection a huge amount of data, and the data will be stored and processed, and we have to describe the data. So describe, it means what kind of data, what logics we can apply, and how we are going to describe, and with which particular models we can represent the data. So data visualization, it is the most important thing. How do you represent the data in the outside world? So I can show my representation of the data. I can show my representation of the data in outside world in histograms or graphs and trees, graphs and charts. So then I can visually understanding of the data, how, okay. So for example, in any engineering college, taken by any engineering college, so it is a nationalized one, and then all the students are from different states will be studying that particular college. Then we can know that which particular area we have to concentrate for that mission. So the drives, we can understand that the way of the visualization and placements also, we can take last 10 years of data, and then we can create some visualization model. So now we are talking about simple R programming we can do for the statistical analysis of data, and Python we can do for the statistical analysis, and then Tableau or SAS or SAS. So a lot of softwares are available, and enterprise softwares that it is a free of cost softwares also there, and then we can proprietary softwares also there for the big enterprise businesses. So here, what we are understanding here, and the description part and model part, so we have to understand AI portion is required. So where the AI will intersect data science, we can understand very clearly. AI will intersect the data science through the description and modeling. That is a data driven. Wherever the data it is there, AI will learn the data and the AI will react. Data is more important. So you can collect, store, process, and it can give a data to ML and deep learning kind of models. And you can describe the data, whatever it is requirement in the models. So here it will come data visualization part. So foundation of data science, you learn all the data mining part and warehousing part and database management systems. Then you can come for understanding of how you are going to describing and how we are going to build models of the description data in the kind of visualization charts and models. So this is what actually the data science AI is interacting with the data science world. So we can say data science is different, or AI is different, or both are different. That is why we are putting artificial intelligence and data science at all. So we can understand very clearly here where we are interacting with the data science with the world of AI with the world of data science. So this is what actually I'm talking about. Product 1.0. So the programmed and smart products. So you can take in 2000s that particular years. So we was working with similar products. That products are physical products reliable. It is not communicated. Now it is car. It is not a car. It is a connected car. You can see here connected car, and all homes are connected homes. And we're talking about all cities are connected. All the cities and devices are connected. So this all we need to understand about. Now TV, it is not a normal TV. It is not an electronic device. It is a smart device. Mobile phones now is a smart device. So the all are also programmed smart intelligence. So you can go for the crowd intelligence. We can say that a lot of people are having account in Gmail. That's a crowd. How we are going to apply the intelligence, how we are going to distribute the resource to the persons. Now it is a cloud is coming and virtualization it is coming. So data, we have to analyze it. So how the provisioning of storage to the customers, and drive.google.com, it is the best example. So we can provide a thin or what kind of thick provision of the storage to the customers. So what threshold I can maintain it? So I can show you 15 GB of data. It is available in Gmail. So I cannot give a dedicated 15 GB. I can give 100 MB or 200 MB for the customer. For I'm checking the monitoring of the particular account. So how much attachments is there and how much mails they are receiving. Based on that, I fix a threshold for the person. Each and person to person, each and everything. It is now it is different for the personalization kind of thing. So my account is different from your account. Your account is different from other account. So that is what nowadays they are taken a bit. So if you are having Gmail ID, you can log in with all APIs of in e-commerce companies. So in crowdsourcing companies, you can have a Gmail ID. You can go with Amazon. You can go with Flipkart, or you can go with Facebook. You can go with LinkedIn. So all APIs are connected together. And what you are having purchasing from Flipkart and Amazon. So based on that, the product, the emails automatically coming to you. So all APIs are connected and connecting all the crowd people. So Netflix, you know that. So everybody is subscribing Prime Video on Netflix. So that is each and every personalization of the page is different from others. So we need to understand about how the scalable. So newly added 1 crore customers into Netflix or anything. So it is a scalable thing. It will be there in characteristics and availability also it is required. And that is what actually we can talk about the crowd intelligence. And nowadays ecosystem hybrid, we can connect it all the thing. It is a hybrid system. So integrated. So we can call as a complete entity as a single car. So is all electronic equipments is talking together. It is attaching with lot of sensors in the car. The cars will be connected. So now the cars will be moving. Driverless car. Everybody knows that, right? Elon Musk. So Tesla. So everybody knows this kind of things in the Google, or if you are seeing the YouTubes, or we are transferring to the other people of content knowledge transferring. So all particular devices are connected. This total car actually is connected. It is like a computer. All devices will be there. So everything is monitoring your complete car. So the same like in connected homes and smart cities and smart agriculture and smart refineries. So everywhere, include all like so refineries kind of thing, we can understand about completely oil management. So this all are actually is upcoming products in the product 3.0. And we need to understand very clearly for AI, how AI will understand that. So how can you understand that if you are going to click a particular if you are providing one particular text in the Google, and then you can search, you can click it. So it will be showing you for 10 to 15 or 1,000 or 2,000 links will be showing out. So how the links will be coming for a single per click? So per click, it's generating a lot of data. So it is not easy. So I can search book, I can search artificial intelligence book in Google and search it. So a lot of links will be available. You can see that 1,000 links, 2,000 links will be available. So useful links are 15 to 20 links. How the links will be ranked? So how the ranks of the links will be showing in the front of that is per click, how much data will be required. So number of clicks based that particular URL will be coming out in this Google search. That is what actually we need to understand out of the content. So what quality of feedback determines the quality of your models? Which search result for which query, by whom, in what context? So I'll search any context I have searched the particular thing. I need to prepare one particular PPT. I want to search the context. So I need to understand that how many links are useful for me and which are what my context actually it is matched, and how long did they stay on the page. That is also most important. If you are clicking the search and then how many clicking also it is required, and how much time the particular browser it is staying with particular page. Based on that, the pages will be ranking. But how it is required, some intelligence is required. So because millions of sites are connected together, it's like an internet. So we are not going to find out this is the exact way, this is the exact link we are understanding it. So I can searching it, fifth link or sixth link, it is useful for me. It is not useful for the first link. So clicking data, it is most important to understand how much it is required to under that AI will system, it is backgroundly, it is working, and intelligently shows that you can see this particular 10 to 15 pages is most useful for you. The same thing, YouTube and Netflix feedback, not just binary or single stage. Did they click on the top recommended videos, and what fraction of the video they watched? So how many fractions of the video they watched, most watchable movies, and also how many recommendation videos. So recommendation system, it is most important everywhere in websites. They are having a recommendation system. You can recommend if you are going for a best example, e-commerce and Flipkart, you can go and check for the recommendation system that drives you. This is a better product. If somebody asking you, somebody is telling this is a good product, we are not believing it. We can go and search in YouTube and Flipkart, and then we can understand this product. Okay, this product is a better one because of their 1,500, 15,000 people are given the rating of 3.0 and 4.0. So based on that, we can understand these things. And each and every personalization of YouTube pages for the recommendation is different. What kind of videos you are seeing and what kind of recommendation it will be giving to you for you. And which particular watchable videos you are most likely for. I am the person, I am always looking for educational videos. Some of the persons are looking for always an entertainment video. My personalization, I open my YouTube link in my Gmail ID, it is showing all educational kind of videos and what topics I going. I'm searching before in history in different person in different scenario. So this the personalization is most important thing. And the same thing. So Amazon also what you can browse and what you can purchase, what you can wish list you are putting, and then you are not purchased or not. Everything is observable. So I have a Gmail ID and then Amazon, I can go and I want to purchase something, but I'm putting the wish list, but I'm not purchasing. Then how I can recommend it? So any recommendation system will work for this for the purchasing a product and improving the business. So this is also, it is required to understand how e-commerce company to adapt in AI technology, how the Google company will adapt for the AI for, I'm asking for simple things. I'm telling you that not only for this, so a lot of frameworks also there. So we need to understand better thing, context of thing, what actually the Google, YouTube and Netflix and Amazon is doing nowadays. And this is the way we have to understand. So artificial intelligence is a service. So building block for all our artificial intelligence needs. In India, in agriculture or finance or refineries or smart cities, are different domains in education. All are different domains. So how this particular technologies drives as a service to that learning and deep learning, language understandability, speaking systems, and vision and knowledge graphs, visualization graphs. So how will give the big impact of understanding of now real world scenarios. So that is also we need to imagining that. So in India, India is a fast growing country to adapting for the new technologies. You know that. So all the adapting technologies wherever they are using in other countries also, we are now it is started and then we are working on it. So we know that. So what kind of artificial intelligence will drive for the future in India, and then how the reforms of already existing technologies into some way of connecting, way of a new drive. So this is we need to understand. And how do you understand the different perspective of artificial intelligence and the data science? We know that algorithms are unsupervised, supervised, and active and reinforcement, deep learning we talked about, and data required vision, speech. What you see, you can observe it. That is a data, and speech and text and transaction time series data, and the process we can clean that labeling of data. It is most important. Non-labeling it is means that the clustering and supervised learning will come. So most of the applications are designed in supervised learning method, and we need to understand how to clean and learning of data and what features of the data. And the feature engineering is most important. And train the data and put for the testing of data and inference. You can get back the inference of the data, and you can go for the domain. What kind of domains we are looking for? Applications. It's a healthcare applications or agriculture or education, telecom, retail. So what we have to understand the architectures, how we have to do for this complete architectures. I can use unsupervised learning. I can use some data. I can use some process. I can use some domains. How I can build an architecture for the particular domain as a huge ecosystems, huge kind of a lot of large amount of data we can predict. So this is also, and so we know that industry automations, wherever the industry is there, automobile industry, vehicle assembling and vacuum painting and chocolate factory, toothpaste factory, mobile assembly and toy manufacturing, food industries, land reduction, map navigation, so many applications now actually automated, not required human. If you want to assemble the car, it is not required to take each and every part. We have the robot. So do you want something? Okay. With all, actually, it is a smart systems and industry automation way. Okay. So we need to understand here. So these all are the main factors: smart cities and telecom and refineries and agriculture, healthcare and e-commerce. So these all are what I'm saying. It is a product 3.0. So it is a kind of all devices, billion of devices are connecting together. It's compiled together, and we can do it for the work of each and everything. For example, if you take a telecom company like as a Geo, we can take it. So all the towers will be connected as a single point. So in all over India. So now their satellite they are connected together, and then they are providing for the signals to the cell phone towers. So this kind of complete devices are connected, and refineries and agriculture field and healthcare applications and e-commerce applications. Now we want to develop. This is what actually now we know that a lot of emerging books, edited books, they have to go with this particular. If you are taking a refineries, how AI will work. So refineries and IoT field. So refineries with any e-commerce platform. So refineries, how it is collected to agriculture, related to the agriculture. So this all are, we are thinking and we are moving to the technology future. And we need to understand the stack architecture of artificial intelligence. So first, the physical information into digitized information, and we have the interpretation of all data and causality layer. Causality layer, it is like cause and effect. If, for example, we know that we can do this thing and what effect it will be coming. That is a cause and effect. Everybody knows that. All humans are know that. Okay. If you are going in front of car, automatically it is hit happens, accident happens. So what cause and what effect we know that. But prediction system, it is effect and cause. So what effect and what cause actually we can do that. That is what the prediction system will work. And why I am taken for this prediction explanation, it is most important. Nowadays talking about explainable AI. So how the AI will be giving you for the reasoning. So why I taken this decision, that is explanation system. In a driverless car, actually it is taking automatically autonomous. So the edge computing is there and attached with all the cars are moving together and contacting to the nearby stations, and then instead of the centralized station, the cloud. So nearby edge cloud stations will be connected, and then the car will be moving next to next. So then the stations will be informed to the car, then what kind of objects is coming, what radar it is looking for which particular distance. This all are connecting together. It is explainable layer. Sorry, is producing a mistake. And controllability layer. So controllability layer, it is how the controllable, what we have to control, what we are not going to control. That is what actually the controllability layer will work. For example, if you are throwing any ball into air, So you can control your speed, but you are not controlling the air and gravity. So what things we have to control and what things we are not going to control. So that is a controllability layer. So controllability and non-controllability. So it is most important. If you are looking for any data, so what data you have to control and what data you are not going to control. This is most important. If you take any application, Geo or any applications you can take, that all applications are actually, if you are having the model, that model, some parameters you can control, some parameters you can't control. That is an existing only. For example, in gravity, Mars in different gravity, Earth in different gravity. We cannot control. If you throw the ball in Mars is different and Earth is different, how can the system will understand it? And the simulation layer. So we have to simulate. We can adjust that different inputs, and then we can getting an output. That is a simulation. So final after the simulation layer, it is an optimization layer. So most important. So nowadays we are doing a lot of optimization algorithm. It is AI. We can say ML. Our area of interest is in ML. So we can use some ML algorithms, and then we are getting the result for accuracy of the classifier. And then we can improve the accuracy of the classifier. We can combine with optimized algorithms. So I can combine with the classification accuracy with PS algorithm. I combine with the classification algorithms using genetic algorithm. And two our algorithms are hybridly I connected to, I produce some new useful information. So this all are optimization layer. Optimization also one kind of artificial intelligence. So the heuristics, we are talking about heuristic and meta heuristic base. So we can say it is a heuristic layer and adaptation layer. So if you output, we can check anything it is required to re-adaptation, then we can do for the output layer. Re-optimization also it is required for adaptation. So I'm not fitting into the environment. I can give different inputs and I can check for the environment. That's a re-adaptation. Re-adaptation it is important for any application. It is required some adjustments of weights and then inputs. Weight is nothing but it's like a kind of inputs, some kind of parameters, and then we can use some CNN models or RNN models. Then we can get back the result properly what we can achieve in the final output. So this is a re-optimization of result is required. So these all kind of things we have to understand first, and how the millions of devices are connected. So all customers are connected, and people and device and sensors and asset and facilities and content all are connected. Are trillions of distributed interactions, hundreds of interdependent metrics, and millions of real-time decisions every day, and hundreds of workflows. This is the ecosystems. We are not taking one division. We are controlling mobile phone through fan, connected fan. So this is simple device is connected to the frame relay and your application. So machine will work. So if you want to connect all the fan attached to the ceiling to your university or in your engineering college, it is an IoT product. So you can control complete fans and lights of completely street lights of all your university. You can control through your mobile phone. So there is a controllability. So this all devices are connecting together in your device. You can switch off your fan through your mobile app itself. So these things already we know that. So all our IoT products and evaluations, and then architecture of IoT and protocols of an IoT, how the sensors will work and how the data link layer will work and then network layer and all things, application layers, all things we know that in WS, wireless sensor networks. And how the workflows happens and how expansion, because why I'm saying that sensors is the most part to understanding that sensing of environment and then storing the what sensors are sensed converted into the data point. For example, we need to understand in AI in education, each and every homework or each and every answer sheet, each and every answer provided by the student is a data point. So it is most important. So how much billion of data points are created by a student of 2 years to 4 years? That is huge of data production world. So we can understand that. So completely devices are connected and distributions of interactions and interdependent metrics and real-time decisions every day and hundreds of workflows. This we need that. Digitization is nothing but it is converting physical to digital. And interpretation is nothing but so speech to text, face to emotions, videos to actions, So high-level semantics to low-level data. What you understanding in high-level semantics and low-level data, and multiple interactions for a single input as a speech. So we can find out who is the person. If I'm speaking, what is, you can find my age group and emotions, and gender and speaker and text. And many to one and invariance learning is if you're taking an image, so the image is so completely, it is having bulk amount of content inside it. So that is a many to one, it is an invariance of learning. I'm taking it, so one image in the car, in the background, which building is there. So all are in that content. What kind of scale of that, what attributes and finding at that car size and translation and both of the car and everything, we have to say many to one interaction. There's an interpretation. There's a human sensory system. All of you know that. You can see, hear, and smell, and taste, and touch. And interpretation, nothing but if you want to book a ticket, then you can ask Alexa, you can book a ticket from today morning from Delhi to Bhopal. So the Alexa is taking a speech into text and text into intent. What intent actually, where morning it means what time the indigo is available. Then based on that, and Alexa will do. And then song interpretation. So we can hear the songs based on that energy or loudness or speechiness or liveliness. So what mood of the song actually is required? Emotional. What kind of emotion this person is speaking in front of others? Angry or happy or natural or sad? And text data. So we can given kind of, if you are going for the restaurant, I can give what this particular restaurant is worst, and then foods are not served properly, and then I'm writing some content. How can I understand about the restaurant? What sentiment? So a lot of people are writing the reviews of the restaurant. So how can I understand that? Right? How I extract the information from the text? Right? So based on that, I am understanding that what actually the text is available. Based on that, the legal or illegal text, or what kind of text interpretation, intelligence, and it is a working background. I'm mapping all semantics, and then I can do further. This is particular. For example, you have see this particular slide. You can see the diagram. So particular drugs using for which particular disease. So based on that, if you're having fever, then you can suggest that what kind of, we are writing some tablets. This tablet is reducing for the fever. So understanding that which particular tablet is going to reducing the fever. So this all are extraction of the data and interpretation. That is what I'm saying. Early morning Indigo flight to Delhi next morning. So you can take intent and then book the ticket. And what you are writing in this Google Maps, the Google Map for find out some pseudocodes, and then you can finally find out this is the query understanding. It is most important. The clicking of data. So previously I said, and interpretation of data. So sentiment. So we can write, and then if you see the movie, and then we can say finally the movie is not good. We can write something. Right? So these all entities and experts and a sentiment. We can take all entities in human life also. We can have some kind of person is talking a sympathy, and then we are the human sensory system. We can understand. Okay, we automatically we are coming in the for the sentiment mood, so we can do something. So these all are interpretation of the text data and vision, abject deduction and recognition, and speech emotional and vision. You can see any picture, the content, deep analysis of the content of the video content of, you could take any picture, that picture you can understand who people and what gender of the people, location of the content, and action and sentiment, what sentiment actually is there. And this is a deep content interpretation. So normally we can go interpretation of the data, how the data will be deeply interpreted. So that also we can check in image and speech, text, fashion also. So category and pattern, major color, neckline shape, and sleeve length. So which particular things are people are most liking, and then what design we can make and improve the business. All are understanding of interpretation of the image, fashion image. Then medical images for the interpretation of the disease and all. Remote sensing images, we need to understand that. This is what I'm saying, that layers or casualty are that. If you are through the ball and velocity and angle and height and gravity and wind speed and air resistance, that are the causes. What effect, how much distance it will be go in the ball, and maximum height and time. These are the cause, this is the causality, it's most important. So height and angle and velocity, gravity and wind speed and air resistance, and what effect is happening in distance and maximum height and time. And you can understand that, so this is the most important thing. I'm doing research also for this. And the curriculum based AI personalization. So if you are providing curriculum to all the students as per the curriculum what we are having, the same curriculum we are providing to all the students. So how the curriculum is meted out the students' requirement and prerequisites, it's most important. Students are not good in the mathematics, or students are not good in the particular concept. So how the students will be understanding the curriculum, whatever we are offering to the students, then students will be understanding each and everything. If I'm offering for neural network, an NLP or machine learning or foundation of artificial intelligence, so a lot of things will be students need to understand that some students are not having that particular knowledge of this particular subject's content. How I can deeply understand the student and then how can educate and then I offering the subject later. Or how personalized whatever we see in the Netflix and YouTube, the personalization of that content you are providing for each and individual customer, the same personalization we have to give for each and every student for the curriculum design. So that is what actually most important. That is a cause and effect. So you know that you can provide the system, the student, I'm the person, I'm not knowing about some particular concepts in robotics or particular concepts in cybersecurity. So you can say, you can understand this one, you can learn, okay, I'm not asking that, I'm not good in mathematics, I'm not good in linear algebra, I'm not good in probability and statistics. How can I learn for ML parts? How can I learn for regression models? So it's most important for the mathematics. So this all are, it is most important to understand further cause and effect. And then prediction. So you can see this. So effect and cause. So you can put effect, height, angle, velocity, and based on that, you can understand further distance and maximum height and time. That is a projectile prediction system we can build. We can throw different balls and then understanding of that height and angle and velocity, I can put in a prediction of regression models. Through that, I can understand distance and maximum height and time. That is a prediction layer. The prediction proactive intervention, then you can see this. This is a lengthy topic. So I can say that's a simple prediction. So we can observe that what actually happens in past, and then we can put that prediction, and the prediction we can past what you observed in that. For any example, you can take in transactions, you can take and credit card customers. So past 10 years transactions we can take and observe and then get for the feature from that. And we have to predict them credit card prediction system. So for the churn prediction, why the customers are leaving from our bank for the credit card customers? Why they are not staying here and then leaving? So I can find out that predictions. All predictions are coming to that proactive intervention and precise optimization. All are this recommendations and product and search personalization, all it will be coming into the part. And controllability. So this is what I'm saying. If you see height and angle and velocity and gravity, wind speed and air system, we are not controlled. What we have to control and what we are not going to control. What inputs actually we can control and what inputs we can actually observe. That's most important if you are doing a real-time projects. That is what controllability. And we can go for the simulation layer. So what happens to maximum height if for a certain height and velocity as a constant? So we increase the angle, we can simulate it. We can increase the angle, what happens, and we increase the speed and what happens, and all the things we can controllable. See the effect of changing control variables on the output for the given input. This is simulation. And we can go for optimization layer. So what angle, what height, and what velocity should be through the projectile. Now you know that a lot of optimization algorithms is there. So random inputs we can give, and then we can change the angle and height and weight, and then what distance we can reach. So maximum distance is minimized, and then time we don't care. So all are optimized it. So best control parameters for the given input and set of parameters. So application adaptive layers. So re-optimizing the height and angle and velocity, and then we can check it. So that is I'm saying on example, Mars and Moon instead of Earth, the different gravity constants. These all are, we can say as a stack of AI. And applications, you know that, right? IBM Watson, so simple, everybody knows known application for healthcare organization, and JB Morgan, one of application of for the document analyzing and image recognition software, and Twitter for identify the terrorist and racism speeches of hate speeches. Then if you are posting somebody that based on that some religion and problems happens, then we can remove the Twitter platform management. So I'm saying that so Twitter also it is looking for what text. So completely Twitter is so text based one. Pictures and videos they are posting of it. So what kind of videos and pictures, what context they are posting, everything they are listening. That is autonomous computers. Now, you know that now we are going for searching username password also. You are an autonomous computer. They are asking how it is, why it is asking, because that is not a human behavior. Something is finding at intelligence of a computer or browser, asking you, this is not a human behavior. So behavioral science is most important. So how the human is behaving, and then how the robots will behaving. So that is what that is asking for. You can click it. I'm not uh, robot. So then I can go for the next stage. And it's very simple example for the spam filtering. And Instagrams and all lot of examples will be there. And how the future of AI will looking like, and 2026, 36 and 46 and 56 and 66. And quantum computing, you know that small task, large, huge amount of billionaires task executed at once. For example, in library, they're available in this slide. So today's conventional computing technology is compared to reading every book in a library one by one. The quantum computing technology is compared to reading every book in a library at all once. It is what actually is a quantum computing. And so now the Apple supplier Fastcon replaces 6,000 workers with robots. All on shopping logistics are all API. The policeman, security guard, and builder, AI-based builder, owns pizza guy, and home kitchens, and driverless car, and can take Wool and Uber. It is investing a lot of money for driverless cars instead of paying that, instead of looking for the drivers. It's not possible in India, but it is there providing a lot of research on that. So now the Ford also is now looking for driverless cars, and they are working for it. And Alexa, everybody knows, and yes, deep learning process, we can understand the locations of the persons where they are sitting in. You can see this example. So then how it's so deep learning can answer the visual questions, and radiology, and so if you are making current research in question answering with pointers and attention, for example, if you are giving text of the content of the context of the topic, automatically the AI system will make question and answers, understanding of the text, and then they are making very good questions and answers for giving to the customers who are the people are using for this app. And so we have the challenging problems in AI. Common challenges, so computational power and legal issues, limited knowledge, data privacy and security, and then in every task and AI task, that is humanist missions. Now the IT companies are mostly they are migrating their leveraging of old softwares, then they're attaching with the software agents like and softwares now, without human intervention explicitly we are not programmed for that. Then the softwares will react like us humans. What we can interaction is required. Then the software itself it is thinking and think and do. It is most important thing in the task. Uh, Self-organization system, self-replication system. So that is most important of organizing in artificial intelligence part. These all are I'm talking about artificial intelligence oriented talk completely. But in the domain of gaming, in our VIT university, we are having specialized branch in VTech CSE specialization in artificial gaming technology. We are focused on virtual reality and augmented reality, and as well as for the mixed reality content. So you understand about already cloud platforms and virtualization concept. Then we can make a reality of things. Virtually, we can relate the things in reality. So you can wear some device and then you can see that. So how the things will be moving and objects will be moving, and then reality games. Like you can use some Unity softwares, can make simple games, and then you can do that. So if you are making a simple games without artificial intelligence library, so the self-organizing, self-thinking of that particular gaming strategy, it won't work. So everywhere, so we can apply all fields. We can apply here in artificial intelligence in not only for AR, VR. In augmented reality, it's showing like same picture. It is a reality conditions. We can see it. Uh, like kind of virtually, we can feel it, and we have to augment it. Then objects will be showing in the real things. So this all are then it will be coming into the part, and but without these particular things, we have to make proper designing of that self making of games. So definitely it is required intelligence way, artificial intelligence way. So uh, these all are important key points of the technology drives in our words. So everywhere it started teaching in artificial intelligence to students, so we can understand what is a traditional way of understanding problems and how we are going to solve the problems using AI way, how heuristics we can apply. So how the algorithms will react as a traditional, and then how the algorithms will react at the heuristic of this. So this is what actually we need to understand very clear for nowadays scenarios. So what we have to use in cell phones and mobile phone and internet, they used these particular technologies as a huge one. So this is what actually I want to convey this particular class. So now we can summary of and question. So do you have any question for this particular thing? So you can ask now.
Thank you, sir. Do you have any queries? Please put in chat box or can ask directly.
So no queries. Okay, thank you for your attention of the class. Yes.
Shall we conclude it, sir?
Yeah. Thank you. I want to thank Anand Kumar sir for this opportunity for providing this topic regarding artificial intelligence for future. Right. I thank SNS management and IT department HODs and faculty members for
Thank you.
this wonderful speech. You are listening to this complete 1 hour. It is difficult, so I know that, but it is a theoretical point of that. And then I asked, so we can have time we can do any kind of tools, we can make some kind of products. It's 1 hour, it is not possible, I know that. So thank you once again for IT department team, and then thank you, Anand Kumar. Thank you.
So the session is more informative and more lively, sir. So you give very good explanation about how the corporates has run in line with the different learning techniques, and you explained all the topics with real world examples, makes the session more lively. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your wonderful explanation. Thank you for spending your valuable time with us.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all the participants. The next session will start on 2 p.m. sharply. Kindly join on time. Thank you. போட்டிருந்தா அது தெரிஞ்சிருக்கும்ல. ஆன் பண்ணி வச்சிருந்தீங்களா? ம். ம்.